Hold on to your hats, folks, because the trade war is back, and it's brought friends. Trump has slapped more tariffs on China, and the global markets are officially freaking out. We're talking circuit breakers popping faster than a jump scare in a horror movie. From Tokyo to New York, everyone is selling, and it's not pretty. The Dow Jones is down, the Nikkei is down, and my retirement fund is down. Experts are saying this could be a much-needed correction after a long bull market. But let's be honest, nobody likes a roller coaster ride except for teenagers and sociopaths. This isn't just about numbers on a screen, this is about real people's lives. Companies like Apple and Nike, who manufacture overseas, are seeing their stock prices plummet. That means less money for investment, less money for jobs, and potentially less money for that new iPhone you've been eyeing. Though let's be real, they were already expensive. Even Japan, which isn't directly involved in this trade spat, is feeling the heat. Their banking sector took a nosedive, and their bond yields are lower than a limbo champion on a good day. So buckle up, folks, because this trade war is far from over. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the tariff in the trade war. Trump's big plan to make America great again hinges on bringing manufacturing jobs back to the US, and he's using tariffs as his weapon of choice. The idea is simple. Slap a tax on goods coming from China, make them more expensive, and voila, American-made products will suddenly become the cheaper, more appealing option. Trump is aiming to rake in a cool $300 to $600 billion in revenue from these tariffs. That's a lot of dough. But here's the catch. Those tariffs are ultimately paid by American consumers and businesses. So while Trump might claim this is a win for the American worker, the reality is a lot more complicated. And let's not forget about the global backlash. China isn't just going to take this lying down. They've already hit back with their own tariffs, targeting American goods like soybeans and automobiles. It's a classic game of economic chicken, and right now it seems like nobody's willing to flinch. Speaking of chickens coming home to roost, let's talk about debt. China's debt to GDP ratio is hovering around a whopping 300%. To put that into perspective, imagine eating 3 times your weight in pizza. Not a pretty picture, right? Meanwhile, the US is sitting at a comparatively slim 122%. That's still a lot of pizza, but hey, at least we can still see our feet. Now, you might think that this massive debt would make China sweat a little, but they seem surprisingly chill about the whole thing. Some experts believe they have the tools to manage it, while others are predicting an economic meltdown of epic proportions. Only time will tell who's right. Meanwhile, back in the US, our own debt situation isn't exactly rosy. Sure, it's lower than China's, but it's still a ticking time bomb. And with Trump's tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy, we're essentially throwing gasoline on that fire. The bottom line is this. Both the US and China are playing a dangerous game of debt-fueled brinkmanship, and the consequences of a misstep could be catastrophic for everyone. Section 4. India's moment, a manufacturing hub in the making. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. While the US and China duke it out, India is quietly waiting in the wings, ready to swoop in and pick up the pieces. See, India has something that both the US and China desperately need: a large, young, and relatively cheap workforce. As companies look to diversify their supply chains and reduce their reliance on China, India is perfectly positioned to become the next global manufacturing hub. And it's not just wishful thinking. India's Make in India initiative, launched a few years back, has been gaining momentum. Plus, their stock market has been surprisingly resilient in the face of global turmoil, buoyed by a surge in domestic investment. Of course, India faces its own set of challenges, from bureaucratic red tape to infrastructure bottlenecks. But if they play their cards right, they could emerge as the unexpected winner in this trade war. It's like that old saying goes, when 2 elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. But sometimes, a clever mongoose can sneak in and steal the show. Section 5. Navigating the storm future outlook and the Fed's role. So, what does the future hold for the global economy? Honestly, folks, it's anyone's guess. The experts are divided, with some predicting a full-blown recession and others clinging to the hope of a soft landing. One thing's for sure. The road ahead is going to be bumpy. The US Federal Reserve, that bastion of monetary policy, holds the keys to the kingdom. Will they raise interest rates to combat inflation, potentially slowing down the economy? Or will they cut rates to stimulate growth, risking further market instability? It's a delicate balancing act, and the stakes couldn't be higher. In the meantime, all we can do is hold on tight and hope for the best. This trade war has the potential to reshape the global economic order with far-reaching consequences for all of us. But amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there are also opportunities for growth and innovation. Countries like India are poised to benefit from the shifting landscape, while others will need to adapt quickly to survive. The only certainty is that the future belongs to those who are willing to embrace change and navigate the turbulence with a mix of pragmatism and creativity. So let's raise a glass, of domestically produced wine of course, to the brave new world of global trade, where the only constant is change itself. Cheers!